So I've got 40 hours on this thing now, and I'm absolutely loving it. Everything on it is spot on, apart from the suspension. WP is pretty damn terrible from the factory. Majority of that is down to the spring rates on these. They spring them for 75, 85 kg, minus 10 off that because of your gear. You need to be about 65, 75 kg for this to be sprung right from the factory. And considering most of KTM Husqvarna's customer base is middle-aged, midlife crisis, old men, doesn't make that much sense, but whatever. So that's the plan today. Got a little box from K-Tech here, new front and rear springs. These are 105 to 115, which is about me with gear. I sort of went a little bit higher than I would need to. Be ready to help me back, Bill. So we've got our front fork springs and our rear shock spring. We'll start off with the rear shock spring because this only takes about 10-15 minutes to change. In terms of buying these, you'll need to consult the weight graph to see which Newton spring you actually need for your weight. These bikes are only sprung for 75, 85 kg from the factory, which with gear, really you're looking at about 65, 70 kg body weight. So these are sprung way too light, which is a big reason why the suspension is so terrible on them from the factory. This is probably the cheapest thing you can do without revalving and rebuilding everything. If you want to really get it dialed in, you can go full supermoto setup. But for me, I use this bike for a bit of enduro, a bit of motocross. I don't want to commit to a full supermoto suspension. That's going to end up being way too stiff. It's just not what I want. To change this, you're only really going to need a 19 and a 13 mil. It's super duper easy on the linkage bikes. PDS, you'll probably have to take the whole shock out, but even then, that's not the hardest thing in the world. Take off this 19 mil at the back. To make this easier, you can take the weight off of the rear wheel a little bit and just push those bolts through. So you can fold all this shit out of the way now. Loosen off the preload on the whole shock. What we've got going on here, this is what sits on the bottom of the spring. So you'll need to basically lift this ring up and then this will split in two. Lift that up and then the whole bottom will come off. And then the entire spring can just slide out. Easy as that, it doesn't even have to come off the bike. So we've got our old spring off now. Let's open up the new one. You see the only difference here really is that one will say 45 on it and that one's got 51. You can just about see it, yes. 51 Newton spring to my weight. Let's go, bruv. I'm gonna do my best to try and show you exactly how this goes back on before the camera runs out of battery again. This slides up like that, spring first, then the little metal washer. Get one of them things in. This is quite fiddly. My head is entirely in the way right now. Once that's sat there, then you can kind of just let go and it all just falls into place, and that's that. So there's still quite a lot of slack in the spring, but the way you get that out is by then adjusting the preload adjuster at the top. Rear shock's done. Wasn't too bad at all, actually. Literally only took about 20 minutes. The longest part of that, honestly, was filming it, bruv. Sit on it, bruv. You're fucking massive. Tell me what you think. It's sprung for like 105, 115 now.
Whoa, yeah, that's solid.
Go on, give it a little bounce, bruv. Yeah, that's much better. All that's left now, we'll bring that in the garage, get it up on the stand, take the forks out, take the forks apart, and then change the front springs. I'm gonna be here all fucking night, bruv. Nice. 1, 2. I don't think it's even remotely the same size. Get the,
let me just hold on to it and see if you can crack it.
We can have a go.
I don't think it's gonna happen though.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, no way!
That's not even that tight.
Nah.
Pull it in.
There we go. Forks are off. Bike is naked. I actually have zero clue what I'm doing with suspension. It's been quite a few years since I've done forks. All I can remember, I'll be honest, I can't remember anything, but we're gonna give it a go. Okay, so I've just done the other forks. I've got some idea of how to do this pretty quickly now. It's actually really, really easy. The most difficult part about this is not pissing oil absolutely everywhere. No matter what you do, oil is gonna leak from fucking everywhere as soon as you open each end of the fork, and you're probably gonna lose a pretty significant amount of oil onto the floor, which is great. I would advise you buy some spare fork oil before you do this. Taking this top cap off, and then all we're gonna do is just drain as much oil as we physically can into this thing. So when you put these in the vise, make sure you do it on this bit here, where the axle goes through. Don't do it on this bit here because you'll fuck stuff up. You'll break the bottom of it. Get yourself T20 Torx bit, take off the little red adjuster. I'm sure I have some fancy B-roll from the first fork. It's a proper tiny little screw, so don't lose it. Put it somewhere safe. Now this 22mm in the bottom of here is a right pain in the ass. It just wants to spin with the whole inside of the cartridge. Get it in the vise, crack it loose and see if it will keep coming. If not, you might have to put a bit of pressure on the fork and compress it a tiny little bit. just to put a bit of tension through that cartridge. It might come off. Just don't use an impact driver on it because you'll damage the inside of the fork. Just put as much tension through that cartridge as you need until it comes loose. There we go. So that's what you want to pull out the bottom. And now we can pull the cartridge out. Now this is maybe where we're going to see a bit more oil leakage, but I fucking hope not. Yep, a little bit. I'm gonna try and do this in a way where you can see it. So once you've got this bit, just compress the spring down, and pull this little black spacer out. Just like this, bruv. There you go, happy days. And now the whole spring just comes off. Take your new spring out of the box and just thread it onto the cartridge. Make sure you haven't lost a little white spacer on the bottom there. This is actually very easy after all, it's just the first time doing it is a bit of a fucking nightmare. And then this just goes back in. So just push that cartridge all the way through until it lines up at the bottom. Take your damping adjuster again, and just put that shit in the bottom. It will struggle tightening that out, that is a right pain in the ass to put in. I'm actually a fucking sick mechanic, bro. This one is an absolute fucking ball ache. Easiest way is put pressure through the cartridge. There we go, that was all that takes. Just nip it up, doesn't have to be very tight at all at the bottom. Take that top cap back off, slide the tube down a little bit. Might have to top these up with a tiny bit of fork oil in the future because I have lost a little bit, but it'll be fine for now.
Fit nicely now. Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Fucking oil everywhere, bro. I've still got to put the little damping adjuster back on the bottom. That was a mild pain in the ass, but we're done. 51 Newton rear spring, 5 Newton front springs. I haven't taken it out on a ride yet, but even just sitting on it, bouncing it, it feels a million times better. But I'm gonna take it out for a little ride. Let's go out and we'll see how it feels. So we've just put those new springs in. The standard ones are so terrible, bruv. Just got some fuel, let's go see how this feels. From the 2 seconds I rode to the petrol station, I can tell you now it's about 100 times better. Front end doesn't squish anywhere near as much. The back end is nowhere near as bounced. That feels very different. I know, yeah, everyone's probably screaming at me, why don't you just spend the money and get it all revalved and set up properly for supermoto? I don't just use this bike for supermoto. I will eventually do enduro on this thing, I will take it to motocross tracks. And with this one specifically, I want to do a lot more ADV riding. So I don't want to spend over £1,000 revalving it for supermoto and then having it be pretty useless out in the woods. Really stiff suspension like that. Look at all those geese, there's about fucking 100 of them. Is this like the geese spawn point or something? What's going on? Look how many there are. Some little baby ones. What the fuck? So yeah, as I was saying before I got distracted by some birds, I don't want to spend a load of money and revalve it and then make it completely useless for everything except supermoto. Guys, it's hay fever season. I cannot breathe through my nose and I have a sore throat. I sound fucked right now. Oh my god! Why is that guy walking like that? Conor McGregor. We'll just pull up at the spot quick and have a little play about. I'm not going to stay here too long. I just want to see how it feels. Oh, it's so much stiffer, it's lovely. It's so much better, wow. The whole shock compresses so much less now as well. I felt the whole spring compress and it would just throw you all over the place. This one is much better. Doesn't do that anywhere near as much, wow. That feels like a completely different bike almost. Let's try a few little stoppies. Okay, that is game changer. That is game changer. Oh my god. Holy shit, I didn't think it would make that much of a difference, but that's huge. That is a crazy difference. The whole bike feels so solid. I can't believe it. There's like no compression in that rear spring at all. So much more confidence. That's incredible. I'm so happy.
Oh, guys, okay. Let me talk for a little bit. That feels 100 times better. Getting the suspension sprung to your weight makes the biggest difference. For 200 quid, that has almost solved my problem completely. The rear was super easy. The front is a little bit more involved, but it's not the hardest thing in the world. Even if you took them out and paid a shop to do it, I still think that would be the best thing you can do. I don't quite understand how I ever rode KTM before with the standard suspension. I'm a very happy boy. That was a great success doing this job. Let's go watch the sunset somewhere and we'll finish this video up. I'm going to show you guys something that's going to be really fun coming up into summer. Whoa. Whoa, I bought a proper camera, boys. That's right. Right now, I'm just grafting my ass off at work. Saving a lot of money, trying to get the bike ready, trying to get stuff like this ready. Because I want to go hard on the content for you guys. It's very hard on top of my job. I work 6 days a week away from home. So it's quite hard to get stuff done for you guys while I work so much. But 3 weeks time, I am done at my job. So it's going to be really exciting. What are we thinking, boys? Let me get my helmet off and we'll finish this video off right now.
The difference that has made is unbelievable. The bike is so much more planted in wheelies. The front end is so much more consistent in doing stoppies. And like I said before, £100 for the front, £100 for the rear. It's probably the cheapest fix you can actually do to your suspension, and it's going to make the biggest difference. I'll leave everything in the description below about where you can buy all the stuff you need to do this job. It's not that hard. You guys can find Fork Springs in your own country. It's not that bad. But if you're in the UK, K-Tech are the ones. I'll leave a link in the description to them. If you have any questions, send me a message on Instagram or something. I'll do my best to help you out. Have a good one. I'll catch you guys in the next video. See you later.